When did you learn to start mistaking the person that the relationship built out of you for the person that you actually are? This maybe started early in life or with a partner, but probably early in life, and you sort of start to realize that your ability to absorb difficulties makes you exceptional and valuable. You're unbreakable and can manage emotional climates. You learn to chameleon your personality to fit all of these little gaps that probably a guy is leaving behind. Throughout that process, though, the inevitable conclusion is that you start to confuse a survival posture for a personality, and that dynamic is going to run on because being unbreakable feels really good. It's more like a virtue than a sense. It's more like a virtue rather than a symptom. Believing that this high capacity version of yourself is your truest self protects you from the grief of realizing that you've been forged by a dynamic that requires you to be relentless just to be safe. It is a lie, though, because you aren't actually becoming more capable. You've mistaken the management strategy for an identity, and this version of you doesn't exist because of who you are. It exists because of who he isn't and what he isn't. A character trait is a choice you make in freedom, and a survival mechanism is a reaction that you have when you're backed into a corner. With a dynamic like this, he's utilizing your infinite capacity for absorption to avoid the effort of his own growth. Your capacity to suffer isn't a badge of honor. Measure who you are when you are not required to be the one who saves the day, and when you don't need to ask if you're strong enough to stay in that structure. What you need to find out here is why you're still identifying with a version of yourself that only really exists because he doesn't show up.